Hello, audience. Before the spoiler warning, we felt it would be somewhat courteous to say, if you're kind of tired of hearing pandemic stuff, it'd be best to skip this episode. The show The Strain is about a vampire plague, and oddly, it's become more relevant with time, especially the first act of season 1. So if you're honestly just tired of hearing pandemic talk, we understand if you don't listen to this episode right now.
Warning. We are about to spoil Season 1 of The Strain. If you haven't seen the show, then click away now. But if you've already seen it, or you just don't care, then please stay with us. The first 8 episodes.
Wow, this show is off to a great start. The ending can't be that bad.
After the season finale. They played us like a damn fiddle! Nope.
Yes, keep that one.
Ouch! God damn it. That was not scripted, by the way. That was an actual cough. Oh, God.
Breaks.
God damn it, Internet! You're trying to ruin the joke I had planned, the surprise!
I don't even know what the joke is.
Yeah. Hello, everybody, and welcome to...
Did you just drink?
Cinema Roulette.
Okay, wait. Did you actually just drink?
Yes.
God damn it.
That was the joke.
Pam! Can't take you fucking anywhere.
I know, right? I can't take you anywhere within your own house.
It's true.
But yes, hello everybody, and welcome to Cinema Roulette, where today's episode is going to be very, very interesting because, yeah. And there goes my... Hold on. Am I still coming through all right, Justin?
Yeah, you're still coming through fine. I just have no idea what just happened.
Well, I'll tell you, it's a miracle that just happened, because my entire soundboard just went from my desk onto my floor, yet somehow nothing became unplugged, and nothing on the settings thing changed, so...
It was moments later that Cameron spilled all that drink over the soundboard and fucked up the episode.
I put the thing back on it, don't worry, hold on.
So the ball can still break.
It's on the other side of my sound. Justin, I'm enough of an alcoholic to know not to put my beer near electronics or whatever.
Oh, you're just drinking beer?
No, it wasn't beer, it was
Lame.
tequila, but I just used it. I just used that as a blanket term. There we go, we're back. Okay.
No, you can't do that like Coke in the South.
I know. Okay, but anyway, now that we're back on track, this is going great so far. So, I was in the middle of my opening monologue. Okay, it's season 1 of The Strain.
We could have had way more segue than this.
You know what? I don't care. I've had too much go wrong technically already so far. I don't know. Can you think of a better one?
No, we're already either into the intro or after the intro, so...
All right, so, yeah. This is going to be very interesting because this will be the first time that me and Justin might get a little angry.
Yeah. Like, Black Cat, we got annoyed, but we were more just bored.
Yeah, that was more just like it was boring. It wasn't, it didn't actively make us mad. So yeah, go ahead and explain to the audience. I guess we'll just start out by how you found out about the show.
I don't think this was like a big. This was when we were first making the Long Wheel, and we were like, okay, we need shows that are 5 seasons or less.
Yeah,
and surprisingly, a lot of shows just aren't very fucking interesting that are 5 seasons or less until recently.
Mm-hmm.
And we found this, and it was we already said in the opening warning, but it's a vampire show, but it's a vampire pandemic, which sounded like an interesting enough concept, and it was produced by Guillermo del Toro.
I don't think we actually did say that in the intro.
I did in the warning thing where if you don't want to hear about pandemics.
Oh, okay. But I would say you found out about this before I did, so.
No, I found out at the same time while we were making that list.
Oh, really? And that's when you decided to buy the Blu-ray and watch the first episode?
No, because then, like, a month later or something, I was at Half Price Books, which is a used media store, and I saw that the first season, it was like $10. So I said, fuck it.
Yeah, and so here we are, and I actually bought the first season on Amazon Prime so you could watch along, and I was all consistently 2 seconds behind, which I was worried about.
Yeah, no, we synced it fine.
I know we did. It's just more of a minor annoyance than, wow, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
I have to wait another 2 seconds before pressing a button. Oh, so inconvenient.
Like some fucking farmer.
Exactly.
Sorry to our farmer audience.
Sorry to John Peters, the farmer.
The farmer.
But, yeah, so we went into this with, not expecting it to be anything absolutely, amazing, like 10 out of 10 like Hannibal was, but, like, we expect it to be just good, just fine, and judging from the first 8 or so episodes, it's honestly, the first 2/3 of this series are really fucking good.
They are, okay, we didn't split this up because there wasn't as clean of a point as Hannibal had.
And this wasn't really as story heavy as Hannibal either, which was nice. We can sum up the story. It won't take too long. So,
yeah, I find it funny that the ensemble cast show with people all over New York City is easy to summarize than a show about 2 people.
Yeah, actually. Or at least one that centers around 2 people. Like, Hannibal still had a big cast, but, like, the 2 main characters were Will and Hannibal.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's go ahead, before we talk about the show, let's go with the summary.
Well, I was going to say one thing.
Okay, well, go ahead.
If we did split it the way we normally would, which will have been, I think, episode 5 or 6 had a pretty solid point, but we said no.
Mm-hmm.
We would have ended that episode saying we were excited for the rest of the series, and then it was fucking downhill from there.
I am so glad that we didn't wait, frankly.
I don't know if that would have made it funnier, though.
It might. I think it would have made us more mad, though. So,
or sad.
Translate to funny? I don't know. Funny for the audience, at least, to hear us.
Yeah, to hear the sudden twist.
Yeah. So, yeah, go ahead with a little summarization.
What if I want to take a water break, though?
Well, then you can go right ahead, and I can play that jamming music.
No, you can't. You talked over the time you could have cut. Anyway, time for the summary.
Oh, wasted opportunities.
Wasted opportunity. Okay. Here in New York City, where everything likes to go fucking wrong.
Just regular everyday life in New York City.
Especially in media. Just if you are in a movie or a TV show and you're in New York City, leave. Just leave. Yeah. Actually, no. If you find the cameras on you, don't leave. You're going to go to a haunted fucking house and die there. That's just what happens. Basically, living in New York City just means you're fucked.
Pretty much.
But anyway.
And it's expensive as fuck. So it's like, why the fuck would you live there?
So a plane lands at JFK Airport. It's gone completely silent. All the windows are closed, and it's not even turned on. The plane is cold.
And And we know
What?
that it's JFK Airport because they tell us like 5 fucking times.
Yeah, they tell us 5 times with like text and also people fucking saying it.
Yeah, they make it very clear that this is JFK Airport, damn it.
I would do my joke of don't hit the table, but I don't have enough table to hit to do the joke.
Aw, damn. I got lucky.
This is well, I don't want to risk knocking over the mic.
Like
or the laptop.
I just did twice trying to set this up.
Nice. But anyway, so the plane lands and everyone's like, well, that's a fucking problem. Call everyone. And
Sorry, now I'm just reminded of the Lethal Weapon line. Riggs is calling for backup. Send everyone.
that would have been a more fun series to cover.
I know. But anyway, go on.
Oh, if you want, there's gonna be some bitterness this episode. I apologize, kind of. But okay, so everyone gets there, even the CDC, who for some reason gets first dibs on investigating the plane.
Well, because they suspect it's due to a virus, I think, or some.
Well,
shit
no
like
one
that.
was on it yet. They just there's some law or whatnot that says CDC gets first dibs.
Probably just to make sure there wasn't a terrorist attack, honestly. So
That's fair, but what if it's guns?
well, then, I mean, I guess
Hazmat suit don't protect against guns.
someone has to be cannon fodder, I guess, and the CDC is it. So
Okay, we cut to this man. His name is F. Well, it's not really F, but everyone calls him F. We're gonna keep calling him F. He has 90s dad syndrome. He's getting a divorce. He focuses on his work too much and has a big wide-eyed kid who's way too innocent and kind of stupid for that reason.
and there's another guy who's living with his ex-wife or soon-to-be ex-wife, and he's an alcoholic. So we're just checking off every 90s dad list.
But he's going to marriage counseling. He's not taking it super seriously. And then he gets a call and it's like, yo, F, come check out this plane. It's like, okay, fine, I will come check out the plane because that is very serious.
And by the way, it's not F as just the letter F. It's F as in EPH. F.
Fuck you. Well, F goes to work. He works with Jim, who's going to be an asshole. Not like to all the other characters, but he's an idiot and an asshole. And then there's Nora, who F has been cheating on his wife with, even though I guess they're divorced at this point, so it's not cheating, but he was doing it before the divorce, so
Yeah.
who cares? They go on the plane. All 200 passengers seem to be dead for unknown reasons. But then, I think it's 5 or 6 of them come alive?
I think it's 4, actually. Because it's the little girl,
No, little girl doesn't come alive yet. She's dead.
But I'm saying, you said, like, total, there's 4 that come alive. I think it's the rock star.
Well, I'm talking about when they're on the plane, the ones that come alive.
The pilot is the first one to come alive, because that's when she stumbles into it and says, oh my god.
Yeah, there's the pilot, the nerdy guy, the rock star.
And the little girl.
No, little girl, she comes to life in the morgue.
Oh, yeah, and then there's the older woman.
Yeah, the lawyer.
Are you sure the little girl comes to life in the morgue?
Yes,
Okay.
because she walks all the way home.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you're right. Yeah, so it's the old lady who's basically, like, has this curly hair, the rock star, the pilot, and, yeah, the nerd guy.
So, nerd guy, rock star, pilot, the woman. Okay, yeah, 4. But they come alive and they get put into quarantine because it's like, okay, you're the only ones who survived. Don't know fucking why that happened.
Yeah.
And also, they find in the cargo this big-ass cabinet with huge engraving. I'm going to start going faster because it just kind of picks up from here.
Yeah.
This is the inciting incident, and then we just move on. So we got a big-ass coffin. We got people in quarantine. We got the media coming in, and some asshole dude who runs the CDC throwing F under the bus for some reason.
Yeah.
It's really not explained why he wants to be such a dick about this.
Yeah, isn't it like someone? Hold on. Was it someone from the FBI who kept wanting to go on the plane? I'm confused. Hold on.
I think it was the head of the
Was
CDC
it the
that was like, "Oh, don't worry, there won't be many reporters there." And then it was like a whole crowd, and the one dude comes up and he's like,
Yeah.
"I just want to see my daughter."
That's right. He was holding the fucking picture frame.
Ah, yes, I love going to the airport to pick up my family while holding amazingly sad pictures of them in case they die on the plane.
And like, we're not talking like a little wallet photograph or something. No, this is like a full like 8x11 framed
photo.
And like we were talking during it, we were like, if he came up and said, oh, I just want my daughter, that'd be fine. But the photo was a bit overkill on the melodrama.
Which, like, none of this news had really broken at this point, so I
Yeah.
don't know how he knew so much.
I don't know either.
He couldn't have known enough to leave the airport and come back with it. So he had to have the photo with him.
Yeah, so frankly, there are bigger issues with this show, but that was just, I wanted to point that out because that was fucking silly.
That was. We also see a badass old man who runs a pawn shop. He is going to be our wise old man. His name is Abraham.
Yes.
Abraham sees the plane on the news and goes, "Ah, fuck."
Ah, shit. Here we go again.
And heads to the airport. There's also... should I just call him a gangster?
Yeah.
Okay. There's a gangster named Gus. And Gus gets hired by a weird German man. This German man is a Nazi.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to refer to him as the Nazi, because Nazis don't deserve names.
Yeah.
They're just idiots and Nazis.
Fuck Nazis.
Fuck Nazis.
Yeah.
Darn, we lost all our Nazi viewers. I will not miss them.
Did you feel anything? Nah, not really.
Not really, no. Are we the baddies?
Thanks, Tom Scott, for that, but...
No, that's from a different British comedy.
Oh, that's the duo that he features. That's why I was confused.
No, but it wasn't even Jack and Dean. It was from something else.
I thought that was Jack and Dean. Oh, okay. All right, well...
No, they referenced it in Nazi Bar, I think it was.
Yeah, that's the joke. Yes, that's the video.
Yeah, they reference, but it's from some live BBC event.
Okay, gotcha.
You could just look up. You'll find the clip. Don't worry, it's funny.
Thanks, whoever the fuck you are. You're awesome.
Thanks, British comedians.
For actually being funny, but let's get back on track.
Let's get back on track.
Sorry, we just needed some laughter to tide us over.
Yeah, didn't you hear us laugh? It's great. Fuck, I'm in a better mood. And we're not even at the bad part.
Let's get through the good part first.
Anyway, Gus is told by the Nazi, "Yo, go pick up a crate and then bring it here before dawn." Fine, fuck you.
And Gus loves his mama and wanted to be out of it because he wanted to spend more time with his family.
Well, he also just wanted not to make his mama sad by ending up in prison every 24 minutes.
Yeah.
Like his brother who robbed the pawn shop earlier.
Fuck his
that
brother.
the old man runs.
Fuck his brother, actually.
Well, he doesn't even care about his brother, but we'll get to that. Anyway, F and Nora were also investigating the plane, and they find worms. Like a shit ton of worms, and they assume that's the parasite. It is. What a surprise. Well, also, Abraham meets up with Jim and is like, hey, there's probably a cause. They're like, "You're crazy, old man." But then the old man starts saying things that no one else could have known, and it's like, oh, fuck, he knows things.
Yeah, wait a minute. Maybe he's not so crazy.
Well, let's go get the coffin. So they go try and see this coffin, which was the cabinet I mentioned earlier, but it's a coffin. And they go down and the coffin is gone, and they're like, "What the fuck? How do you move a 7-foot coffin?" And then they go and check the security footage, and it's like, wait, it's gone. There was just a spooky thing in frame that took it. Oh, wait, did the one guy die before this?
Which guy? You'll have to be more specific than the
The
one
head
guy.
smash.
Before what?
Before stealing the coffin, did the master head smash the dude?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. Because isn't the whole thing...
Back up, there's this big one of the CDC people goes down a spooky ass hallway, and there's this big guy in a cloak, and he has a cool ass leech mouth, sucks out dude's blood, and then smashes his head.
Yeah, because I thought the whole thing was they found his body and then found the coffin through that.
I forget. It's been a while since we watched the first episode.
It's been a while since we thought of the show as good.
Oof. That's just oof. But okay. Anyway, all the other stuff happened. It's on the intercom. It's like, yo, don't let anyone fucking leave. Don't let any cars leave and check for the coffin. We need that. Gus gets stopped by security because he's driving a truck with the coffin in it. And all of a sudden, security's like, I need you to step out of the vehicle. Gus is about to get a gun, but Jim shows up. And Jim's like, this is one of our trucks. Just don't tell him I'm working with them ever again.
And it turns out he's in on it. Fucking Jim.
Jim was working with Nazis to save his cancer-filled wife.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I have also sacrificed things, even though it would let thousands die, but that's besides the point. Jim is still a dick. Okay. So, also, all the 200 other passengers are sent to a morgue, and F is like, yo, morgue friend who I'm never going to care about or mention again after he dies. Can you look through these bodies? Yeah, sure. Do it ASAP. I need to know what the fuck's going on, because the FBI comes in and is like, oh, it was just carbon monoxide.
Carbon monoxide?
Denoxide, because it knocked them out.
Hey.
But it's carbon monoxide poisoning, so don't worry about it. Everything is fine.
It wasn't fine.
Morgue Man is working on the bodies, but all the bodies wake up and then they kill him because they're all vampires now and they all head home, including a little girl.
Scaring the little girl?
It was Cameron's most terrifying part because it was a murderous child.
Shut the fuck up. Have we mentioned that on air yet?
Yes, we have multiple times, and I will still say
It's been multiple times? I thought it was only once.
No, we've done it twice.
God damn it. For those who don't know, he thinks I'm scared of children. Because I
he is.
I reiterated the story of two creepy babies that just stared at me, and it was creepy. So now he's like, "Oh, you're most hated. Was it not? Why do I?
The Omen.
I don't know why my
film you won't watch. You're too scared of it.
I don't know why my brain thought of Omega Man, but
that's because he is also a child, which is scary to you.
No, he's not.
He is.
The Omega Man was Charlton Heston. He is. I don't think a child speaks like this.
That's what you're worried about. It might be a child that speaks like that.
Just moving on.
Fine. Coffin gets delivered. Turns out it's to an old man at, like, oh, what is it? What's the stupid evil name of the company?
Strex Corp. No, I'm kidding. What is the stupid evil name of the company? I'm gonna look that up.
Is it like Stoneheart or something?
Yes, it's Stoneheart. That is so fucking stupid.
That's a Power Ranger level villain name.
Stoneheart. Get it?
Actually, no, that's a Care Bear villain name.
Is. Oh my god, you're right. I could totally see Stoneheart. Get it? Because they're
Stoneheart's making all the children not believe in the Care Bear.
I gotta put rainbows out my tummy for some reason. Ah! That show is fucking weird.
Yeah, let's get back to a more sensible show.
Get it? Because they're evil. Stoneheart, fuck you.
Okay, hold on. I have one more character introduced because the coffin was delivered on time, and Abraham is mad about this. And he says basically burn all the bodies.
Yes.
But anyway, also all the people held in quarantine were let go because people are idiots.
Because the CDC was not doing.
Because why would anyone listen to the CDC? When could that possibly go wrong and end up with nearly 80,000 deaths in America? Oh wait,
we will discuss that further once we finish.
Yeah, we'll discuss that further.
Just keep going.
No, I don't want to.
Let's get through this.
But anyway, There's another man. What the fuck was his name?
Who?
Fed.
Yeah.
Fed, he's a rat catcher, and he's also going to discover the vampire's lair, and he's pretty cool.
He's a cool dude. He's a hard-boiled rat catcher.
There's also Ditch. Her name is Dutch, but that reminds me of Black Lagoon, and Black Lagoon Dutch is way cooler than her, so she is Ditch.
Ditch the bitch.
Ditch the bitch. Ditch, it's where I want to throw her. Ditch is a hacker lady who the Stoneheart people are like, yo, can you turn off the internet? And she's like, yeah. I look like everyone who would sell you ecstasy in a PSA.
You're not wrong.
No, I'm not. So she does that. Internet connection is fucked. And also, F is still trying to figure out what the hell this disease is. The only person who was quarantined that stayed with, who, like, seeked out F was the pilot, and the pilot was put in the hospital.
I think they found the pilot. Yeah, they went looking for him.
No, he met them at the bar.
Oh,
remember?
He called them. Okay.
Yeah. He met them at the bar. They put him in the hospital to look him over. Things are going on.
They have him like under a UV thing, and they see little worms crawling all under his skin, and it's fucking disgusting.
Yeah, they see with UV lights that all those worms are inside him.
Oh, that's so fucking gross.
Also, the rock star isn't doing so hot, but we'll get back to him. Also, the little girl died on the plane that Cameron liked to keep mentioning. She came back to life because she's vampire now, and she made it back home. And the father calls F is like, oh, thank you for sending my daughter back in the freezing cold and made her walk all the way home, but thanks for sending her back.
Yeah, right? I mean, goddamn was she cold. Her face was so pale.
And F was like, wait, how's your daughter back? She was super fucking dead.
I think they even think at first that, like, oh, it's fine. He's just gone crazy.
Yeah, he might just be hallucinating.
Yeah.
Or, no, they thought that they already sent the corpse back to him.
Oh, yeah, and then he was just going crazy because of that. Yeah.
No, they were confused by his statements that she was alive. They didn't think he was... Well, I mean, they did assume he was kind of crazy by the end.
Yeah.
But they go and check out the mortician guy. Guess what? He's fucking dead.
His death scene is pretty fucking rad, too, because all the bodies, even the ones that are, like, cut all open and, like, pulled apart. What's that called?
We can talk about it later.
Okay.
There's still a lot to cover. We're still in the good half of the show.
I know, but I'm just saying that his death scene was rad as fuck, is what I was saying.
Yeah, we can get back to it.
Okay,
we
right.
can praise the good parts later.
All right.
Also, you're trying to think of the word autopsy.
Well, no, there's an actual word of vivisection, I think. When they cut
sure.
open the body to check the organs.
Maybe. I'm a doctor, not a normal doctor.
Damn it, Jim, I'm a doctor, not a wait.
Oh, I see why you came to me. Okay. Let's see if we can focus this up. What time are we at?
Oh, it's fine. We're at 36 minutes.
No, it's taking too long. We need to go faster. Ahem. Where the fuck was I?
You're the one recapping. I don't know.
Okay, Mortician died. They go back to Sergeant Man. But Sergeant Man is also gone, and they're like, well, where'd he go? They listen to security guards and chase him into the basement. Sergeant Man is vampire.
Sergeant Man.
No, not Sergeant. Pilot. I don't know why I was saying Sergeant.
Go on.
Pilot Man is vampire now. And they kill him by fucking caving his skull in with a fire extinguisher.
It's pretty awesome.
It's pretty... Oh, the practical effects in this show are actually pretty top-notch.
Hell yeah.
But they kill him and they do an autopsy. They're like, holy fuck, it like completely changed him. It's like, wow.
Though sadly, Owen Wilson was not there to just go, wow.
And at this moment, Jim admits that he's the one that let the coffin go through. And F, being a logical human being, punches Jim in the fucking face for being a dick.
I was gonna say that's probably what I would have done. It's like, this whole thing is your fucking fault. Fuck you.
It's like Guilty Crown. There's a solid moment where the main character punches someone for a logical reason of being a douche.
Oh, well, to be fair, Shu doesn't just punch him, he actually beats the shit out of him.
This is also true. I think F is more used to saving lives.
Yeah, exactly.
But, then they're like, oh shit, wait, that means the little girl is probably, oh fuck, and then they head to where the little girl's house was. Because F was already there earlier, if I remember correctly.
I'm pretty sure, yes.
Yes. Also, the little girl ate her father.
Mm-hmm. He ate her faja.
Because she had the long tongue.
The long tongue. Was this at the same time? Oh yeah, no. When does the nerdy guy get locked in the barn and that shit? Was that earlier, or was that during when this?
That's later.
Okay.
You find that we have been seeing everyone's health all the survivors' health deteriorating.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that. They go to the little girl's house and they're like, hello? Not dead people? And then they find the little girl in the basement, and Cameron is scared because it's a killer little girl. But
not.
And they're like, oh no, we're because it's Nora and F who are both down there.
Yes.
Right? Her name is Nora. I'm making sure. And they're like, oh no, what will we ever do with we can't kill another one. And then fucking Abraham comes in and just chops the girl's head off.
Yeah, and we see this. He just straight up decapitates the little girl.
Yeah, just sword canes that bitch. And then sword canes her father too. And he's like, okay, hear me out. If we just kill 200 people, this will be fine. Yes. Nora, for some reason, says no. But F is like, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Let's do this.
And then him and her have a little debate. It's like, we weren't paid to be bounty hunters and blah, blah, blah. And F's like, well, shit's fucked.
We weren't paid to kill people. We're paid to stop diseases. And guess what? If these people are dead, no disease.
Guess what, Nora? At the Center for Disease Control, we kind of control diseases.
Bitch. Also, we found out earlier, because Abraham got thrown into prison for bringing a sword to the airport.
Yep.
And Nazi guy was like, I'm still younger than you because I'm totally a vampire. And you'll never stop us. And Abraham's like, dick.
Was that your impression of him?
He's that level of kooky.
It's great. Yeah, and Abraham just kind of always talks like this because he's the wise old man.
Okay, hold on. I'm trying to make sure I capture everything that happens in the next few moments.
You're good. Feel better?
No.
I'm still disappointed.
Because things consistently get worse as the infection spreads very rapidly. Especially since there's no quarantine measures and people are, getting sick. But news outlets are saying lying things. So that's actually a nice detail to quickly mention, that you hear news in the background saying things that are clearly wrong. So it's misinformation being spread throughout.
It's a really nice touch, and frankly, something that would honestly happen. So,
what do you mean? But okay, things are getting worse. Fett, the rat guy that I mentioned earlier, he finds vampires in the sewers. Like, okay, things are fucked, and he's trying to get it right. F tries to go back to the CDC after they kill another... Which vampire? Oh, yeah, the nerdy guy. He locked himself in the shed because he realized he was changing.
Yep.
And he tried to tell his wife and kids to leave, but his wife came back and then fed him the neighbor. Because the neighbor was being a dick.
Yep.
And then the wife kills herself because she can't deal with the fact that she killed someone. Because she was, like, super Christian.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I guess that's what you do when you kill people as a Christian. It's what Judas did, but...
Ooh.
I'm not wrong. What, is it too soon? But F records Abraham killing the now two vampires in the shed.
Yep.
And he tries to bring it to the CDC. Is like, hey, shit's fucked. We need to tell people about this. And CDC is like, oh, you're right. I'll get people down here right away. Security. But luckily, Jim's there. Jim's like, okay, they're gonna blame this all on you, so you need to get fucking going.
That is a great line where he just goes, he's like, okay, I'll cancel my meeting. And they're talking for a second. He looks at him. He's just like, he's not canceling his meeting, is he? They have you on tape dragging the body away. Okay.
Oh, yeah. It's because he was caught with the pilot's body on security footage.
Yes.
Which I guess Jim and Nora aren't at fault for, even though they would have been in the video too.
Actually.
But whatever. So at this point, Jim's like, I'll do anything to make it up to you. It's like, okay, just help me fucking leave and do your job.
Pretty much.
But he goes back to Abraham. I think Nora, at this point, is with Abraham as well.
Uh-huh. I think so.
Because she was seeing her Alzheimer's-filled mother in the mental home, and the mother is like, I don't want to be here. And she's like, you have to be here. And then vampires show up, and she's like, okay, we can go.
Yeah.
And they go to stay with Abraham. Also, F tries to warn his family and tell them, yo, get the fuck out of town. Things about to get shitty.
Like, real shitty.
Like, really bad. So, I think Jim joins them at this point.
Yeah.
After doing an art job for, the Nazi with Gus. Yeah. And they dump a body. They dump a vampire body into the lake, so that way, the reasons.
Yep.
I'm sure there was a good reason for it. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know, and it just seemed kind of silly because it's like, wouldn't that get worms in the river, and like, why?
Well, I think that's the point. Is also spray in water.
Yeah, true. I was gonna say, I think that would have literally been the point. I don't know. I just don't.
Well, I think it was also covering up loose ends so no one could find the body.
Yes.
Okay. But I can't call them vampire hunters because there is a vampire hunting group later on. Damn it.
So what do we call these guys? The gang, the posse, what?
The main character squad. The main character squad go to get supplies because they're like, hey, if we have those flashlights that basically give off sun radiation, that'll be fucking helpful. Yeah. And they run into Bratman in the facility. And they all try to get the lights. But while they're splitting up, sharing stories of how things are completely fucked because vampires, they're outside of a gas station. And then all of a sudden, more vampires show up and they hide in the gas station.
Yeah. And
to quickly get through this one, because again, this may be going on a bit long, and I apologize. I thought this would be easier.
It's okay.
It's not. Okay. So they need to defend themselves in the gas station, try and figure out a way to get out. There's a truck outside. The man who owned the truck already fucking died because there's also ditches there. Because it's a small world after all. But they're like, fuck, we can't deal with this vampire shit for this long. We need to get to the truck. Okay, let's go fight the vampires. That didn't work out. Oh no, Jim got slightly nicked. Let's get the worm out of him. We got the worm out of him. He'll be fine. Jim was not fine. He has more worms in him. They notice Jim has more worms in him. And F is like, okay, we're going to cure you by... And Jim's like, no, just kill me. I don't want to turn into one of those things. I'll go after my wife. Because we also find out the vampires will go first person they go after is the ones they love.
So, like,
Because,
actually, we never see his wife again, do we?
yeah, because she flew off, remember?
Oh, she did end up going away.
Yeah, because she got pissed with him because he was somewhat the cause of all this, and F tried to explain vampires, but wife was like, that sounds really fucking stupid.
Oh, yeah.
But Jim's like, I don't want to kill my wife, and F's like, but we can cure you. And then why do I keep forgetting his name? Fett. I think I keep confusing F with Fett.
That's fair. That's fair. They're both Fs.
Yes. But Fett says, oh my god, shut up, and shoots Jim in the face. And then Nora and F get all pouty, but then it's like, can we just like get to the truck and end this episode? And then they did. But, okay, so now main vampires are after them. They need to go hunt down the Master. They know the Master is around. And I think Gus is in prison at this point.
You mean F?
Huh?
You mean F?
No, Gus. No, F was already tried. They already tried to arrest F, and he got out.
And Gus.
But I kind of skipped over.
Yes, yes, when Gus is in prison, you're right, with the big guy. Yeah, yeah. When shit,
with his best buddy.
Yeah, when shit gets fucked. Yeah, yeah.
But his buddy also got nicked because they got attacked by vampire. But then the cops attacked them after they killed the vampire because they weren't white. The
vampire.
The vampire.
Thanks, Carl Theodore Dreyer.
Yeah, that was my highbrow reference.
Mm. That's actually a lot more than we thought, frankly.
Yeah.
Well, there's no stopping now.
There is. We can just end the episode here.
No, we can't, Justin.
Okay.
Not after all that build-up, sadly, we cannot. So
okay,
now,
things get really stupid, and I frankly just want to skip so we can talk.
So now, you just quickly... Well, okay, do we want to, like, sum up as we talk, or how the fuck do we want to do this?
Or do we want to sum up the good part? Because that's where the good part ends, is episode 8.
Let's talk about the good of this series. A.k.a. the first 8 episodes, honestly.
Yeah, 8 episodes of this 13-episode season.
So, it starts out, and it has this really cool and really interesting premise, which is basically, leech vampires, which is awesome.
And parasitic vampires, which is cool.
And it's technically like a virus to be a vampire, which is a really cool concept. And what I really liked at the beginning of the show was, like I said, the concept is really cool. As bad as it gets later on, the cinematography is consistently gorgeous.
Well, it can be. I think sometimes it is normal TV show, but there are moments where it looks really pretty.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem is it's not so much the cinematography, it's the editing at times, especially later on.
Oh, yeah, that becomes we're talking about the good Cameron.
Yeah, I really like the cinematography, the practical effects. Let's talk about that, because those are great.
Oh, those are fantastic. Like you were saying, when the Mortician is attacked, he already had opened up some of the vampires, so they get up and they still have like their intestines or their heart sticking out. It's really fucking cool.
Mm-hmm. Also, a really good way to hide nudity, because there's a cut open female and her breasts are obviously not like they're behind the skin that was peeled open. So,
and the other thing is too, when you turn into a vampire, you lose your genitals and it literally just closes up.
Which means the rock star can no longer rock out with his cock out.
But he can at 10.
Yeah, no, there's a scene where his dick literally falls off as he's trying to take a piss.
Yeah, you just hear and he like looks down slightly horrified and flushes.
I think you only see like a little bit of the penis, not enough to identify it as one.
Yeah, but I know me and you were both confused. We were like, "What did he just piss out?" And then it was there's nothing
And
between
then
his legs
like,
no more.
because like it built it up a little bit. We're like, I was like, what the hell just happened? And just was like, I don't think we want to know. But then it zoomed out and it showed his open area, and he had no crotch.
Which kind of fucked.
Yeah, that's a little fucked. Because
Kind of gross.
it's hinted at earlier, like when like the one doctor guy's over, where he opens up and shows him his dick, and he's like, "I'm not looking too hot." See, he's like, "Ooh, yeah, that's not looking too good, pal."
Yeah, I'll call a doctor over, and then he eats the doctor because he is hunger.
He is hungry. The doctor, yeah. And then there was that one dude who was the cleanup guy for the celebrity, who was a total badass.
Oh yeah, where he just fucking he's like, dude, you stay the fuck over there. I'm doing my job, and then shoots him. Almost beats the vampire, but sadly, tongue is fast.
Yeah, yeah. It's really awesome because he carries a gun on him, and he like, because he's about to try to attack him, and he pulls the gun. He's like, "Yeah, never fuck with a working man," or something like that.
Damn cool cleaner man.
I know.
Also, this rock star is completely dropped from the plot.
Yeah, we see him maybe once later on. But
We see him once at the end. That's
yeah,
it.
that's it. Yeah. So all of the practical effects were fantastic. The CG honestly did mix kind of well. There were moments, but it mixed pretty well with the practical effects when it came to like the tongue and the gore.
Like the vampire extendo tongues. Those
cool.
look pretty damn good.
Yeah. Only CG that didn't really look good was the opening of that one episode in space.
Oh yeah, that odd
looked
planet Earth thing.
That looked terrible because they were trying to show that like a lunar eclipse was happening. So like they went above the Earth and like a satellite flew by, and like the satellite looked fake as hell, and like the clouds looked like PS1 era clouds. It was pretty fucking bad.
Yeah, that was a weird moment.
Yeah, it was the only one that really pops in my mind is, wow, that was a terrible fucking effect.
But yeah, the Blade 2 vampires look really cool.
Which they basically are, and I know your brother pointed that out, and he's not
Yeah.
wrong.
Just they have extendo tongues.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
When vampires get killed, it looks really cool, and they have white blood, so that way, we can show as much as we want.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's almost like this kind of acidic blood because they shoot them, and then it's like, psst.
Well, no, that's because they're using silver bullets that's burning them.
Yeah, it's white blood. Yeah, all the practical effects and gore especially are just fantastic.
Oh yeah, like the head smash in episode 1 is fucking brutal.
That was brutal as hell, dude. Amazing, God! Like just hit the indent on the one pilot's head when they just beat his head with a fucking fire extinguisher. That was cool.
Yeah, also when they open up that body, how intricate the design of the vampire organs is really cool.
That whole autopsy scene was really awesome because they all kind of like actually cut open and show like their not only is this virus, making them vampires, it's actually changing the genetic makeup of their internal organs as well, because they don't have genitalia, and like they show like the where the extendo tongue like reels back and all that, and how the esophagus is like really hard and shit. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's hard so that way it can basically cock in and load the tongue when needed.
It's the level of detail and shit. It's like, God, I'm glad Del Toro directed it, because that was a nice touch. Mwah.
I'm so glad Del Toro was working on the first half of the show.
Yes. And honestly, in the first 8 episodes, the characters are pretty smart. Frankly, they react like humans would, and they aren't fucking stupid.
Yeah, they aren't stupid. Like, there's the cliched stuff with F being a dad, but besides that, it's pretty logical stuff. Gus is actually a really interesting character because you get the way I guess he's a bit cliched, like the whole gangster who wants to move on and get out.
Yeah, but
type deal.
The actor who portrays him does a fantastic fucking job, and the script too in those episodes are just great at really painting him as a good character.
Yeah, he seems like a really cool dude. It'd be a shame if script writing suddenly changed and he became terrible.
Oh, wouldn't that suck? But Yeah, and like there's moments too where like something usually cliched would happen, but like it they actually come out, like with the one we mentioned earlier with like F getting out of the CDC. Like no, normally they wouldn't realize it, and like the CDC would come in, maybe like security come in with guns and like, well, you need to come with us, and then there'd be this whole big escape sequence. But no, he just realizes, wait a minute, I need to get the fuck out of here, and gets the fuck out of there.
He's like, he's not calling. He's not calling for backup. Yeah. He's calling security.
Yeah. And then there's another moment later on where they break into a warehouse. Bless you.
Thank you.
Well, they break into a warehouse for supplies, and they break the window, and the alarm doesn't go off. And you know, sometimes characters be like, oh, "Well, I guess there's no alarm." No, fucking who's the guy who died? Fred, or what was his name? Jim. Jim is just like, must be a silent alarm.
And then when they find Fett in there, he's like, yeah, I disabled that, don't worry.
Yeah, exactly. So they're, again, just the characters are smart, and the way they react is actually kind of smart. It's fine.
Actually, I like that scene, too, because when they run into Fett, he's like, you look like a bunch of looters. Well, what are you? I'm a looter.
Yeah. And there are some great humor lines like that. Like, the sense of humor can be good when it actually comes in, so...
The guy who plays the Nazi is also just fucking hilarious.
He's a lot of fun. He really does go over top with like the expressions and all that, and how just slimy and evil he is. Whoever's playing him is having a ton of fun, and it's great. He
literally only refers to Abraham either by his concentration camp number or mainly the Jew.
The Jew. It's just really fucking weird, especially, you know, in this day and age, to hear someone just say, oh, yes, the Jew is over there. Just,
the Jew is back. It's like, what?
It's like, Jesus. I mean, yeah.
He was Jewish, yes.
I know he's a Nazi, but man, it's just weird to hear that in this day and age.
Should we mention the other thing that's weird to hear in this day and age?
We have no way of avoiding this, which is why we gave that spoiler warning at the beginning.
Just general warning.
Yeah. If you don't know by either the date or this is way in the future, and like you have no idea what happened at this time, we are recording this in the middle of the coronavirus lockdown, aka COVID-19. And in case you don't know what happened, the COVID-19 virus came over from China, and it originated there and basically...
Well, it may have even been here sooner than that.
But it's basically infected the world because America especially and a lot of other countries didn't really take it all that seriously. So it spread like wildfire, and now at this point we're just basically doing damage control, and we're in the middle of a lockdown where the government is government's requiring you to do stuff, but like state to state there are laws put in place where like stores are only open limited hours, you can't eat in restaurants anymore at this time. And you have to wear masks everywhere you go, and if you go into work you have to take a temperature of every employee, and just shit's going crazy right now. So it's really odd to watch a show where a virus spreads like this.
And also, in case you for some reason don't know, future person in the far future, New York is the main place in America with the most infections.
Yeah, because the governor there was a dumbass and didn't really do anything, yeah? Or no, was it Trump that didn't do anything?
Who do you think?
I know it was Trump, but was it New York was saying we need stuff and he wouldn't give it to them?
Yep, because the mayor there was a big meanie to him.
Oh, boof fucking who. Sorry. My forgiveness. The governor of New York wasn't a dumbass. I'm sorry. I know he's going to beat the shit out of me and tell me to get the fuck out of here. But
I think he's a bit too old for that.
He's from New York. I don't know. Some old people from there can still kick my ass, probably.
I mean, it's not hard, but...
Shut the fuck up, Justin.
What?
But, yeah, so it's really, set in New York especially. It's just really, really...
Yeah, okay, because when you watch a show or you watch a movie, it's for escapism. That's, like, one of the main things you're watching for.
Yeah, that's why the Great Depression movies took off so much, because life was shit. So, like, people went to movies to try to forget about the whole stock market crashing and the economy going to waste.
Yeah, And so watching a show where people aren't listening to the CDC and a disease that can kill thousands is rapidly spraying through New York, it stops being fun.
Mm-hmm. It just becomes really awkward, honestly. um, like that.
Contagion. That's a completely another topic, but it is weirdly close to what's happening with what's actually going on.
And that came out in, I think, 2011, right?
Yeah, like 2010, 2011,
Yeah.
something around there.
And this was 2014 when The Strain came out. So these shows have become oddly prophetic. And
if you do check this out, we do kind of recommend the first 8 episodes at least.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're not wrapping up, by the way.
No, we're not wrapping up. Don't worry. But yeah,
so odd, the parallels to real life.
Yeah, but it just kind of yeah. So, is there anything else you want to say about the parallels, or because I have something to wrap it up.
Okay, you can wrap it up. But, I'm fine with it.
Hold on, I had something, but I lost it.
Man, if only you didn't chug tequila before the episode, you might have remembered.
Hold on, I had it again, but then I lost it because you made a joke.
Don't blame tequila.
It's like one of those things where, just remember, kids, don't be like Cameron. Don't drink tequila. It's one of those things where it's like just flashing in and out of my mind. It's like, I got it. No, wait, I don't. I got it. No, wait, I don't. It's just interesting because this is going to kind of be like a little time capsule of this time period that we're in. I don't know. It's just interesting to look back on this, if we are in fact still alive by then, be like, man, wasn't that a terrible fucking period of our history?
Also, that's not us being negative saying we're all going to die of COVID-19. That's more of just general things that happen in the world.
That's more just the general climate of Cold War II is what I think a lot of people are calling it, with, needless to say, our president is not the smartest person in the world. He's, to put it lightly, and it just the diplomatic relations between us and the rest of the world, just to sum it up, just are not good.
Fuck, the relations just between people in the country at the moment, so fucking hostile.
Oh god. Yeah, those are the real world parallels. So, anything else on the good?
Besides the character acting, before, like, episode 8 in general could be its own movie if it was extended a bit.
Episode 8 is the best episode of this season, and maybe the series. If it
probably the series.
But, yeah, episode 8 is fantastic, and like you said, the first 8 episodes, definitely check them out. So,
yeah, well, hold on, I was going to continue.
I'll go ahead with the bottleneck. Yeah, you can go on with that. So,
because the idea of not only this being a disease that can spread so easily, but them being trapped in something as small as a gas station and only having hours to live if they don't think of something. The tension is so high, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's The Mist, except instead of a grocery store, it's a gas station.
Or it's like Night of the Living Dead, but instead of a house, it's a gas station with vampires.
Exactly. And it's actually really good. Yeah, like I said, the tension, the drama, and just honestly, the action scenes are really good in that too. So
the action, and the working around the problems, it's really cool.
Yeah, it's really fucking well done. So
it's also kind of funny because Ditch is there with her friend who ditches her, oddly enough.
Yeah.
But she immediately tries to run as F is trying to keep everyone inside, and they realize the vampires are there for them and not for her, and she just runs right past.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she just gets the fuck out of Dodge.
We never see her again.
We don't.
And she also fucks over the hacker lady by taking her laptop, and the AirNet is still down.
Yes.
So that's annoying.
Yeah.
Is that it for the good?
I think so. Definitely check out the first 8 episodes, and if you don't feel like doing that, just honestly watch the episode 8. It's great. But
It is, even without much context, it's still pretty damn good.
So now that we've spent an hour on the first part, hey, buddy.
I'm trying to remember all that happens because so much stupid happens in the next few episodes.
For part 2. No, I'm kidding.
You drink more. I don't have anything to drink.
I'm so sorry, buddy. Well, yeah, it's harder with you because you can't stand regular alcohol, which is probably a good thing.
Yeah, I need more fruity drinks.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I'm gonna rush through this. I don't fucking care. It's so annoying. Like, the actual fury kind of building up in me at the moment is a bit immense, because there's so much fucking wrong with what happens.
And it hits so hard and just makes us so mad, because it's such a huge drop in quality. Like, it goes from up here to down way low real fast.
Okay, one cool thing to mention, because we forgot this in the good, is there is a group of other vampires who are vampire assassins. They're rad as fuck.
Yeah, they're an anti-vampire squad made of vampire ninjas. It's great.
It's great. We don't really know much about them even by the end of the show.
But they are the one thing about the show that is consistently awesome.
Well, that's because you can't fuck up vampire ninjas.
That's just rad as fuck. I mean, come on.
Okay, fuck, what happens in Plotland? F goes to get his kid. His kid... Whoa!
What happened?
Oh, there was lightning outside, and it was, like, super fucking close to my house.
You do have an electric pole, right? You don't know?
What do you mean? Like, have a lightning rod on top of my house?
Yeah.
No.
Oh. Well.
That was really fucking bright. Jesus.
That's always really scary. There is a YouTube video too of where like someone literally has a lightning strike on their like car windshield as they're driving. It's fucking terrifying.
Yeah, I've seen that. That's cool.
Oh, it's terrifying.
Okay, sorry. Got distracted there by nature trying to kill me.
Nature's already trying to fucking kill us, and here comes lightning.
I mean, it's a quicker death, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. So F tries to go get his wife. But his wife ain't home. It's only his child and the stepdad. But the stepdad is a vampire, and F has to save his child. So he does.
Hold on.
What? Gross.
Okay, go on.
F saves his child. The child is... He's an idiot. His name is Zach?
He says it multiple times. I forget too.
Yep, it's Zach.
It's Zach? Okay.
Zach. And they look in the house for the mother. The mother ain't there. Also, everyone's been basically living in Abraham's little bunker.
He has a cool-ass bunker. That's also pretty rad.
In his pawn shop. Yeah, it's filled with weapons and stuff. And we just leave an Alzheimer's patient down there, and I'm sure it will be fine. It surprisingly is. Oh, also, we get backstory on Abraham.
Oh, goody.
And unlike the show, I'm just going to focus on this part so we can get through it instead of cutting back to the main plot every 2 fucking seconds, ruining the pacing. Abraham, as much as you can guess, was in a concentration camp. And the Nazi who turns into a vampire worked there because he's a Nazi. But Abraham was good at cutting wood. And Nazi man noticed this. And Nazi man's like, hey, can you build me a box? And it's the coffin. It's the coffin we see later. Wowee.
Oh, boy.
I know this sounds lazy, but I don't care.
Stuff
Stuff happens until Russians attack the Nazi base, and then Abraham... Oh, also, the master, the king vampire, who I'm going to call Boris, because he looks like a Nosferatu that got fat.
Fat Feratu, if you will, or Nosferatu. Take your pick.
Or Boris.
Or
Boris just sounds like a fat name. I'm sorry to Borises.
I kind of wish he was comedically fat, and like every time he walked, it'd be like the stereotypical boom, 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 boom.
But Boris would constantly break into the sleeping quarters of the prisoners and drink from one of them before breaking their neck.
Yeah.
Abraham did try to fight Boris, but he only had a knife, and Boris is a master vampire, so didn't go well.
Yeah.
And gets his hands broken.
Yeah, and if you didn't get the joke in the beginning, the master vampire guy is voiced by Robert Atkin Downes, a.k.a. Kaz Miller in Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, that's apparently a character in Metal Gear Solid. If I have played it, I would know.
One of these days, no worries.
No. Gaming is canceled. I'm sorry, audience. Cameron decided to break your fucking ears today.
It didn't peek. It didn't see it go into the green, the yellow or red. I didn't see it go into there. I was standing for back enough. I swear, Dad.
Well, according to my ears, you fucking weren't.
Sorry.
Jesus Christ. Make it sound like I'm about to chop off your fucking testicles. Well, then again, you'd scream higher at that point.
Exactly.
Christ. Anyway.
Can't even lop off a fucking toe without you screaming.
Pussy. But Nazi man sees that Abraham's hands are broken and is like, well, you're useless, and sends him to the pit of prisoners who are about to be executed before all the Nazis move out and the Russians invade.
But then the Russians invade.
But then the Russians invaded. All the prisoners escape. I'm stopping from saying the Jews.
Yeah, that's fine. They're prisoners. That's what they were.
Apologies if it sounds like I slip a few times. Cut to years later, Abraham got a rifle and is trying to hunt down the master. Oh, also, before the Nazi went and hid in a bunker where he had the coffin, and the master was like, okay, fine, you can be my right-hand man.
And this is where I think we first see Boris in all his fat glory.
Yeah, he looks so dumb.
I was fine with the design. I think what made him look so derpy was the mouth had a constant frown. It almost looked like the gill man at the bottom.
Well, and his neck was too fat. It was like his neck was as wide as his chin, and there was almost no chin.
Yeah, like before when he was all cloaked in darkness and all you saw was like the tongue coming out, like whatever you imagine in your mind is way cooler than what you'll actually get in the show.
Yeah. Okay, so Nazi man is now vampire. Years later, Abraham has a wife who's going to be totally fine.
Totally fine.
Abraham falls for a trap where he thought the master would be, and then Nazi is at the top of the well and is like, oh man, would be a shame if someone went and got your wife.
I love the little tootaloo. I love the little like tootaloo that he did with his like hand, just like
Yeah, just to be kooky. Abraham climbs out of the well, goes home, and finds his wife and 2 village children dead. This show really likes killing kids. We haven't brought that up.
So that's, I think, 2 or 3 dead children by this point? Because they shoot another child in the head earlier.
Yeah, so that's 4. Okay, and that is his tragic backstory.
Hooray! And now to actually focus on the rest of the
Okay.
Here we go again.
I'm going to say this fucking quickly just to get it over with. Also, I think I hear an echo of myself real quick.
I'll take over. Okay. Hold on. Say something again. See if you still have the echo.
Yeah, I still hear me slightly.
Technical difficulties.
Okay, I'm gonna separate this up because they separate the characters a good bit. Okay, so so we're back.
Yeah, that is true. Okay.
Okay, so main character group figures out that all because Rat Hunter Man says the vampires are in the sewer. They go into the sewer to find Boris. I'm not calling him the Master because he doesn't look cool enough to be called the Master. Boris. They find Boris. Oh, they also made an EMP bomb. No, not an EMP. Basically a sun bomb.
Yeah, UV bomb.
UV bomb. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, yes. Vampire's one weakness: electromagnetic pulses.
It might be. We don't know. But they go down into the sewers. They find where the Master is. They set off the bomb, but the Master gets away, which also probably should have tipped them off that the sunlight doesn't kill him, because that's the plot point we end on.
And then they all drive away sad because they're like, we've lost.
Well, Abraham's super pissy. He breaks up the coffin so that way Boris can't sleep.
Well, he did that earlier, yeah, so they brought the pieces to the theater.
No, it's at this point, because they're down the sewer and they find the coffin.
Oh, you're still in the sewer. I thought we were at the theater. Sorry, go on.
No, not yet. I jumped ahead to make a joke. Okay. We'll get to the theater. Okay. They try to chase him down, but they stop in a room that's like full of thousands of vampires, because at this point the outside world is pretty fucked.
And Abraham's like, let's go get him. And he's like, this is suicide. No.
Let's not do that. German man and F does Hacker Lady lets F do a broadcast to warn people about the pandemic, but he doesn't tell them how to fight vampires, just that vampires are a thing.
And they're hurt by sunlight.
Yep.
That's it.
That's all he's able to get out before the
FCC.
Yeah, the FCC cuts them off. But then I guess the Nazi German man was tracking their location. Or he looked at Yellow Pages to figure out where Abraham was.
He probably did. It was probably that simple. I don't even think it was a secret, because he was a pawnbroker. I mean, it couldn't have been that hard to look him up.
Yeah, he owned the shop.
Yeah, actually, I'm shocked he didn't attack him earlier, frankly.
Nora, remember? She's an important character. Her mother dies because she gets bit by a vampire, and Nora chops her head off because drama, I guess.
That scene wasn't too bad. I thought that scene was fairly well done, where she has to kill her mother. But
I just didn't care because the mother was was used like Jack Crawford's wife in Hannibal, just for sad things.
That's basically it. Yep.
And to make Zach do a stupid thing to run into Gus for 1 second.
Thank God I'm off tomorrow. I'm really tired.
Yeah, but we still got more to talk about.
Oh, this will be fun.
Okay, we're almost there. But they move into the hacker lady's house, and they're like, okay, we need to find the Master and kill him. So through some stupid fucking logic that we didn't catch, they figure out that Boris is hiding out in the nightclub that the rock star was in.
Because their original logic was that he was in the sewers under the World Trade Center because he's attracted to human sadness or some shit.
The misery.
It's so fucking stupid. And then they figure out that oh yes, this theater, and they explain the theater played stuff and it was old schooly, and so therefore the Master must be there. I don't fucking understand how they came to that conclusion, because it's presented as an aha, we figured this out moment, but I'm just sitting there what?
Yeah. So they all arm up. Also I forgot to mention, they figured out that F knows pretty solidly that his wife was Ben.
Yeah.
Or is a vampire.
Yeah, because the audience knows, because we saw it go into her fucking eye.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, the word goes to her eyes. It's great. Cameron loved it.
it's disgusting.
But and there's this whole build-up of, like, he keeps thinking he sees his wife as a vampire and doesn't.
And, like, there is just a genuinely huge build-up for the wife. Like, me and Justin estimated that, like, she'd come back as, like, a crazy, you know, ultra-vampire.
Yeah, because either the Master or the German ran into her, I forget.
Because fucking... It was Boris, because he comes in there and he's like, I have plans for you, or something like that.
Yes. Okay, they attack the nightclub. There's a pretty stiff fight scene, if I'm being honest.
A pretty what?
Stiff fight scene.
Yeah,
like, everyone was just
the one in the nightclub with all the vampires. That could have been so cool.
It could have been. It wasn't. But everyone's fighting. F, his son, and wow, I've been saying his name this whole time, and I just forgot it.
Zach,
Abraham. They all go upstairs to fight Boris, and they realize, oh, let's just break the windows open so the light gets in, and because it's morning.
Yep.
Duh.
Yep.
And it works out for the most part. But F fucking tackles Boris outside. He's burning in the sun, but then he just runs away. Because for some reason, none of them take the time to chop his head off and hesitate way too much.
He's there for like a solid few minutes burning in the sun. And no one, even though earlier when they were fighting, he was stabbing him and it was clearly shown to hurt him.
No one tries to kill him.
No one tries to chop his head off. No one tries to, you know, actually try to stab him or shoot him. No, he burns in the sun and climbs down the side of the building into the sewer. Like, the sun is clearly hurting him, but it's not insta-killing him like the weaker ones. Gee, I don't know. Maybe because he's the leader.
But the book said... Also, all the vampires that were fighting, including the Rockstar and the German, just reversed the fuck out of there.
They literally just reversed the footage. It's fucking silly.
Pretty great. And then they're like, we didn't get him.
And, like, literally, Abraham's just like, they aren't hurt by sunlight. We've lost.
Or fucked. So what had happened before the fight, I forget. Even though we watched it literally the night before. But F takes his son back to his wife's house because his son suddenly has asthma. That was never established in the first half of the show.
In the second half, like, it's brought up 2 times. It's shown that he uses an inhaler. And then now it's conveniently he needs his inhaler.
But they go back home because he thinks Zach needs an inhaler. Turns out Zach didn't and just wanted to get the family scrapbook. But his wife is there, and she's a vampire. And he shoots her once in the shoulder, and she runs away.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what happens.
And then at the end, they all get in the van they were using, drive off, and Abraham gives this, like, really depressing, like, wow, we thought that the world and shit and all this fucking existential crap. And that's where it ends. But
that's not all.
Okay.
Because we still have the 2 subplots.
Yeah, so basically Gus, his character is apparently there's 2 Gus's, the one that was being a badass and this, whatever the fuck Gus this is.
Yeah, because Gus escapes prison after his buddy turned into a vampire. And he runs home. He has to kill his mother and his brother. He does not care about killing his brother. He literally never mentions it. No. It's kind of funny.
Even when, like, he's talking to the group of people that we'll get to, even then he's like, I lost my best friend. I lost my mother. Never mentions his brother.
Killed his brother with no remorse.
Yep, because he was kind of a dick ass.
But okay. Gus does that. He gets a change of clothes, so he's no longer a prison outfit. Goes and robs a car thief. We met
Jesus
earlier.
Christ, dude.
I'm sorry. My brain don't work good. This show is literally rawing my head box. But he goes to get guns from the guy, gets greedy, and goes to check a supply crate for no fucking reason.
Yeah, because
other than it might be worth something.
Yeah, because he goes to the guy, he holds him at gunpoint, says, "Give me all your guns," and he gives him all his guns. And then one of his associates come by to drop off a payment, and he sees like, "Hey, that's a lot of money. That means if they're paying you to move those shipments, that means whatever is in the shipments is valuable. Let's go steal it."
Let's go open it. And it turned out to be vampires. Luckily, the vampire ninja squad comes in and shoots them all and then kidnaps Gus. And then they're like, hey, we need a human to walk around in daytime so we can do our job super good. It'll be a win-win and we'll give you money.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. We'll explain why this is stupid in a bit.
So he's going to become Batman.
Okay, one last subplot and then we can actually talk about the rest of this goddamn show. I am sorry this episode is so fucking long. What are we at?
An hour 30.
Jesus Christ! This will be our longest episode. Yay!
Yay! Star Wars: Last Jedi, you have been dethroned
by something actually bad. Suck it, internet.
Yeah, fuck you.
Okay, there's this old ass man who is the whole reason the vampire got to New York in the first place. He was dying of liver cancer failure things.
It's just liver failure. I don't think it was cancer. He just said you have liver failure is all he said.
He was old. He was old and dying.
Probably drank a lot if his liver is failing.
Or he could, again, he looks pretty old. He could just be old.
Yeah, that's it.
But anyway, he owns the Stoneheart Company or Stonewall or whatever the fuck it's called.
Stoneheart.
And he's like, he talks to the Germans like, so the master will make me immortal, right? And German's like, I wouldn't lie. I'm only a Nazi.
Exactly. Oh, God.
But right before the old man dies, fucking Boris comes in and gives him some of his blood. And then the old man gets better. But then when he goes to the Nazi, he's like, wait, I'm not immortal? Yeah, he didn't give you the worm, dumbass. You still have tests to do.
He just gave you the blood to heal you. You've been healed. You're not immortal, though. Sorry.
Yeah, so you have to keep working for it. And also, after F's little announcement, I think it's the governor of New York or some official steps in and is about to call up the president and say, yeah, we need to throw this state into quarantine.
Yeah. Yep. And yeah, it's like the president or something of the... Weren't they with the CDC or some shit?
No, they were talking to the CDC about the shutdown.
That's right. And the one guy wasn't too convinced, but the girl's like, yes, I'm going to call him and we are going to offer a quarantine.
We're going to put the city in quarantine. So the old man goes there with the Nazi, and he goes and talk because he's good friends with the lady who is going to cause the city to go in quarantine. He has a nice chat with her before throwing her off the building, which Cameron said as a fucking joke.
We'll get to that.
And then the person running the CDC is told bitches like, yep, no quarantine. I didn't see anything. This is totally fine. I'll listen to whatever you have to say. And that is the strain.
Where to even fucking begin with the last half of the series? Because, like I said earlier, it was just such a huge downfall. Like, it's like getting to the top of the roller coaster and then you go down that fast. Like that gut feeling in your stomach as you're going, woo! That's how hard this show went down.
Well, that's how fast it went down, but for the level of disappointment, It's like if you were going up for a solid 2 minutes, and when you go to the drop, it's a 2-foot drop.
Yeah. It was just really, really fucking disappointing and frankly infuriating that this show genuinely dropped the ball. Like, it just it shit itself so fucking fast that we just blinked and the show was just bad.
The show was so bad. Okay, I think the first thing before getting into like character flaws or anything, the editing becomes awful.
Good God. So this show tries to do something, and in the first half it is noticeable. Like there are times where the pacing is bad, but especially in the second half, it tries to do interconnecting storylines. Like at first it starts with his story in Auschwitz and then present day stuff, which is not tied in together at all, but especially at the end with him and his wife and how the wife died and everything. Like the pacing is so off because the editing is so awful.
Like the scene where right before they destroy Boris's coffin, F is getting that I bit my tongue. Nice. F is getting strangled by Boris. The team comes in. They're about to throw the UV bomb. Cut to a flashback. Like, we're in the fucking middle of something, guys.
Yeah, okay, so the individual scenes are good because there's two things you look at when you're editing. The editing of an individual scene and the editing of the whole thing. I was watching Folding Ideas and he talked about it. I forget exactly what the term is for it, but clearly they didn't look at the whole thing because how it flows in with the two storylines throughout the whole episode is just bad. It just cuts back at the complete wrong times and it throws the pacing of the show off so hard.
Yeah, and I guess you could debate like, oh, but that's sort of like when you go to a commercial break, it raises that tension. But it doesn't fit in at all. That's the problem.
Well, no, here's an even bigger problem. We watched it without commercials, and the pacing fell off. Imagine watching it with a commercial break every,
Oh.
Wouldn't that be some shit?
Be so much worse.
Yeah, we watched it without commercials and the pacing fell off. Imagine it with the full hour. I mean, damn, dude, it was just not well done. And it really dropped the ball on the pacing, the storytelling, and the editing. And like we said in the nightclub, another minor thing is just the action scenes felt really stiff a lot. Like something that should be tension filled or awesome is just kind of boring. Like when they were going around in the sewers, they were wandering around that like train track for a long ass time, and I just kind of said, "Is this supposed to be tense? Like, is this supposed to be tense? Because it's not."
Yeah, even though they killed Jim in episode 8, which is usually a smart thing to do, to kill a main character if you want to build that tension of like, hey, we can kill anyone. Anytime these people have fought vampires, it's been super easy.
Yeah, it turns out vampires are a lot easier to kill than we thought.
That's also something that slightly disappoints me, is I like vampires that are smart. That's why I enjoy them a bit more than zombies, because they're actually clever creatures.
But the thing about, like, the regular zombies, at least, obviously the big baddies were advanced vampires, but the way they explain it is actually kind of clever, especially near the beginning, but then it's just kind of silly, is that, they've just been infected and they haven't had time for the virus to evolve in them, so they're just basically, the early on people are just mindless brutes, basically. They're basically
ghouls.
They're basically ghouls, yeah, they're just ghouls that can be hurt by sunlight and silver bullets.
Yeah, but that doesn't explain the fight at the end when they're all still ghouls, it seems.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just really it kind of really, like, the regular horde vampires are not that good, and I hoped it would be like smart vampires, like a horde of like regular smart vampires. That's terrifying. I'd be like, we're fucking dead if that happened.
Or I'm fine with like it not being, the Dracula type vampire where it's able to talk, or where they're able to talk and use charisma or hypnotism, whatever.
Well, they were able to talk in the flashback scene, but apparently these ones can't.
Well, that was the master who was able to talk.
Oh, was he talking through the vampire? Was that what was going on?
I think.
Yeah, because it was actually a really cool line of just like, the sun is coming up, Professor, or something like that. It was really cool.
Yeah, when they're basically saying, we're going to kill your wife.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just the way they handled them was a little disappointing. They were basically just...
Well, I was going to continue.
Go on.
With, because like in Blade, they're the main vampires that he fights, sure, they're not the smartest, but they're still able to move like humans with superhuman speed.
Mm-hmm.
there's that level of threat, but these ones move like zombies. It's really lame in
well,
that
they're
sense.
kind of more like fast zombies, and honestly, the actors who play them do a good job of like getting down on their hands and knees and running, and then like seamlessly going from that to standing to back down.
Yeah.
The actor, whoever, like, they must have been athletes or something. They do a really good job, but yeah, it's they become way less threatening as the series goes on.
And do we just move on to the fucking characters being...
Oh, dear Lord. So the biggest and most glaring issue is Gus. What the fuck happened with Gus?
Okay, because at the beginning, Gus wanted to get out. Gus was clearly not doing these jobs because he enjoyed it or enjoyed being a gangster. He did to help his mother.
Yes, to try to, get finance and to try to help his family get by, basically. And it was clearly established that he was not greedy, that he used to be, but he's trying to get out of this kind of life and into something better.
Yeah, and then during that
after he escapes from prison, he just becomes a completely different character.
After he kills his mother, he becomes a different character.
Yeah, after he kills...
And not in a good way. Not in like he's emotionally broken after... No, he's an idiot now.
He literally just becomes a stereotypical gangster.
Yeah, it felt like the studio stepped in. It was like, oh, you have a Latino character? Well, he's supposed to be ran like this, isn't he?
Yeah, because like he does have that whole Latino accent or whatever, but it's not written stereotypically because obviously Guillermo del Toro is the same nationality.
Ethnicity?
Ethnicity, that's the word I was looking for. He's the same ethnicity, so obviously it's going to be handled really well. But yeah, like he just becomes stereotypical gangster, and he's like all of a sudden greedy. For no reason, because like he's like, oh, let's go track the shipments, even though he had an opportunity to walk away with the guns. And then once he's down with the whole vampire ninjas and all that, they're like, oh, we want you to become this, so we can benefit. And he's like, and for large sums of cash, okay, I'm listening.
Or even before that, when they just first capture him, he's talking like every stereotype gangster where it's like, what you want, fucker? Yeah, that's fucking stupid. Fuck you. Let me fucking go. It's like, shut up.
Right, when they have the bag over his face, he's like, oh, you don't even have the guts to look at me or whatever. It's like,
what the I'm written like the side character in an action movie.
I'm written like a Grand Theft Auto side character.
I'm written like Franklin in the first half of the game.
But yeah, it's just, what the hell happened? We don't know. Like, we first thought was like, what, did they just hand him off to a completely different fucking writer? But then I was like, wait a minute, this ending feels very Walking Dead-y to me. And we looked up when Walking Dead came out, and it was in, its third or fourth season?
It was in its peak seasons, which was after 3 onward.
Yeah, it was basically in its peak, and so this isn't, a fact, we just estimate, what's the word I'm looking for?
Hypothesize?
Yeah. We think that, like, that wasn't the word either, but it's fine. You get what I'm saying. We think that maybe the studio saw that, Walking Dead was on AMC and it was getting a shit ton of views. I think it was literally like the most watched TV show consistently, and FX was just like, hey, guys, I know you're halfway through the season and all, but let's do that.
We could have our own Walking Dead.
And they really try to make it like that because, you have the old man, all the characters, they probably saw the characters and were like, we can do that. Because you had the old man, you had the dad, you had his son, you had probably a dead mother.
Spoilers for Walking Dead.
But yeah, it's just like they probably saw the characters and like, wait a minute, let's use this as it fell so hard. And
also, Del Toro was working on movies at the time, so it wouldn't surprise me if he could be behind every script.
This was a show where you could just feel Del Toro's grasp loosening as the show went on. Where, like, by the end, it literally did feel like this was completely just done by the studio.
Hold on, I want to look something up, actually.
All right.
I want to see what the Master looks like in the comic.
Oh, that's a good idea. Let's have a little comparison there. Should I cut this next bit out?
Yeah, you can cut out a bit.
We'll be back.
Hello, everybody. Cameron here. I'm recording this after the fact, so while past me and past Justin look up the master, I just wanted to point something out that was hilarious. And I'll actually show this if you're watching the YouTube version. So if you just Google the strain the master, if you just look that up on image search or Google search or whatever, the first result that comes up afterwards is the strain the master looks ridiculous. Which, I mean, yeah. So I'm glad we weren't the only ones that thought that. So yeah.
Okay, so we're back, guys, and the Master looks so much cooler in the comics, it's not even funny.
Yeah, he's not fat. He's he's a skull.
Yeah.
He's this weird, stretchy, fleshy skull.
For those who are watching on the YouTube version, here he is.
If not, you can Google it.
Yeah.
I believe in you.
It's so cool.
That's way fucking better. Okay, that makes me more mad.
Right?
Yeah, what the fuck happened with the design there?
Have no idea, because clearly the makeup was fine, because the practical effects were fantastic. God, he's even creepier in, like, the nighttime scenes, too. God.
Okay.
Well, that's another layer of aggravation to an already aggravating series.
Okay, what the fuck else is here? Because there was Gus being terrible. There's...
The characters just giving up at the end was the fucking stupid.
Well, I mean... It would have been more understandable if there was, like they tried to stab him and he was still not even weak enough to take that. But no, it's like, oh, he got away.
Yeah. But yeah, that was the thing. They didn't even fucking try to chop off his head. They just watch him as he escapes. And it's not like he just instantly flies away. He takes a good long time standing up, climbing down the roof, and going into the sewer. Not once do they try to chop off his head. They don't try to shoot at him as he's getting away with silver bullets. No. They just watch him as he goes away.
No, couldn't... When he was sitting on the fucking porch there, couldn't just unload into his face.
Yeah.
Or... Oh. His fucking wife. F's wife.
So there was this whole big build-up, like, oh, the wife, because it showed her getting infected and all that, and then, like, the master called her, like, it's telepathically, he's like, come to the sewers and meet me, and he, like, meets up with her, he's like, you will be the one to help me capture him, and blah, 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 and there's, like, literally, I think this whole second half, they build it up, and then they go to the house, see her in the window, he shoots her, she runs away, and that's it.
He shoots her in the shoulder.
And that's it. That's it.
What?
And she's not even like a super ghoul. She doesn't have robes. She can't talk. She's just a regular ghoul.
She mentally talks to Zach to try and get him to come to her, and that's it.
She looks no different than any other ghoul.
Yeah, she's no different.
That's it. It's a lot of build up and disappointing payoff is what this was. And I think that's one of the reasons it's so aggravating. Is just because it was started out so good. But then whenever, studio decided to try and make it like Walking Dead and Del Toro lost his grasp, it just went so far downhill. And it's just like you started out so good with so much potential. And nope, this is what we get.
Or, yeah. Another annoying moment. The fucking scene where the chick gets thrown over the balcony.
Oh my god, yes, we have to talk about that because they were talking and, like, the one chick is, like, freaking out, like, I'm not gonna do this, and he's like, okay, come with me, we'll talk. And then as they walk off camera so the Nazi and the other guy can talk, I was like, you just hear in the background, as she falls up.
I think you even said it before then. Like,
I did.
Oh, just gonna go in there and throw her off or something?
No, because when he walks off screen, I was like, you just hear, as she falls off the building. And then fucking... It's made exponentially stupider because not only did I call it, not only does he throw her off the building, this old ass man picks up a regular, it's this old man who it was, clearly not strong. It's not like the Nazi who's immortal and has super strength. No, he's a regular ass man who's just been healed. And he picks her up like fucking wrestling style and she throws her over the fucking balcony, which is pretty high, actually.
Yeah, it was at least like belly button or higher.
I don't understand if he like pushed her over the edge. But no, he literally picks her up like WWE style and just throws her off the fucking building. And I was like, I was joking, show!
Here's the other thing. Canonically, he had been bedridden for the past couple of months. He had only just been healed and is just able to pick people up like that.
You would, I know it's, magical master blood and all that, but you would think his muscles would still be a little atrophied, yeah?
So how weak was that woman to not be able to fight off an old man?
She doesn't even try to fight him off. He just picks her up and throws her off the edge. No problem.
God, I've seen monsters in Ed Wood movies attack more convincingly.
No, it was just the stupidest shit, and I called it. And it ended up being stupider than the joke I made, even though they did the joke that I made, but somehow worse.
Oh, and we even talked about this before we started the recording 2 hours ago. Fuck. They had this perfect shot with the Nazi and the CDC member talking to each other as the silhouettes of the old man and the woman were in the background, and he could have picked her up and done that while still in frame, but instead they cut for no reason to a closer shot of it.
Yeah, it's like, it would have been cool if, like, he's talking to him and he's like, come here or something, and, like, turns him around to talk, and you just see in the background, like, him strangling her or something. That would have been cool.
Or even, because it goes to a reverse shot between the one guy and the German.
Yeah.
What if it went back to the center shot and now we just see the old man there?
Yeah, that would have been cool! Yeah, that would have been really cool. But no, they cut to a closer shot because they think probably the audience is too fucking stupid to notice something like that.
Or they just had it and they couldn't help themselves.
Yeah, it feels like a very studio mandated shot where they probably had that beautiful shot and they're like, no, we need to cut to a close-up of this or we're not airing it.
We need to edit it. How are we supposed to see that?
The point is it's subtle, guys, but we have to make sure the audience sees it.
Just all this adds up. So also, Ditch being annoying. The kid having the dumbest subplot to go get Nora's mother cigarettes.
There was one completely pointless, and it was the only subplot that I kind of really did not give a fuck.
Oh, wait, that's what it was. It wasn't a cut to a flashback while F was being strangled by the Master. It was cutting back to that fucking kid.
Yeah, because the flashbacks are, I think, in the episode after that. But yeah, no, the only subplot in the show, which I couldn't give two goddamn shits about, was because they leave the kid at home to stay safe with the mother with Alzheimer's. And, like, she's going crazy. And as they're doing all this awesome story stuff, keeps coming back to her going crazy. Like, I need my cigarettes. And she's, like, going crazy. So he's like, okay, I'll go out and get them for you. And so he goes to a store to loot it. And fucking, like, two other looters come in. And he runs away like they're this huge threat. I'm just like, dude, just walk out the door.
But the funny thing is, too, because he almost goes in the basement of the store where there's a vampire and he crawls away. The two looters find him and they're like, what are you doing here, kid?
Well, another really stupid thing is he's crawling out of the basement, but then, like, he drops his phone through the thing because he needs to go get it and tension and shit.
He needs to go get it so he can be in contact with his mother when she calls and has photos and Plants vs. Zombies.
And then, like, he crawls up and the looters are like, what are you doing here? Like, freaking out for no reason. I'm like, this is not how normal people act. Even if they are, like, on drugs, they wouldn't be like, what the fuck are you doing? Ah!
Yeah, it's like, you're both looting. We understand this. Just go.
Yeah, it's for, and that's the thing. You've seen vampires. They're clearly not vampires. They're just normal looters. I would have just picked up cigarettes, put them in my pocket, and just been like, hey, sup, and probably just walked out. hey, whole problem solved. But no, he has to hide from them and like go around the
Well,
store.
they'd probably be like, "Do you got any food?" It's like, "No, dude, I'm just grabbing
Yeah.
cigarettes for my aunt or whatever." Make up a lie for that. But
I know he's a little kid, but I think even he would be smart enough to realize that.
I'm getting my dad cigarettes, whatever.
Yeah, but it's no. Oh, sorry, go on.
And all this is used for is the kid sees Gus.
That's it.
That's it.
Kid sees Gus, and then Gus never actually, honestly, runs into any of the main characters ever again throughout this entire season.
Well, he did run to the old man earlier to return the clock his brother stole. That's it.
That's it. Yeah, and he was with the German, but yeah, that's it. But yeah, and then he gets his cigarettes from her mom, and that's it. Like, this whole subplot was completely fucking pointless. Nothing happened, and it's time that we could have been spending with the characters in the sewers.
Yeah, honestly.
It was just, that was my biggest problem with the subplot, is that it was just a waste of goddamn time and ended up achieving nothing, except she got her cigarettes. That's it.
I guess it told us he could handle himself.
You could have already done that, and I know they do that later, but in some other way than just a literal, completely pointless subplot.
Also, a stupid detail that I find hilarious.
Yeah.
Earlier in the series, in the gas station, fucking
when she's dumping up
Abraham gives Jim a 6-inch silver blade.
Yes.
Okay, cool. To defend himself in case things go awry.
Yes.
Oh, wait, I did forget to mention something in the synopsis. They did try to capture the German at one point in a subway, which then tips off the master that the group is going after them.
Yeah.
I'm sure that has completely changed your lookout of the show if you haven't seen. But, okay. Then they're going to go fight the master. He gives the kid basically a broadsword.
Yeah. It's like, okay, Gus gets this dinky little thing, and he was a fully capable... Jim gets this little dinky knife, and he's a fully grown adult, clearly capable of handling himself. This little kid, who's never been in the fight before, here's a sword!
Here's a sword you have to hold with 2 hands. I'm sure you'll be fine.
Yeah, like I said, it's basically a broadsword. It's just ridiculous.
Hell, giving the kid a nail gun would have made more sense.
And here's another stupid fucking thing. His alcoholism never really comes into play.
Oh yeah, F's an alcoholic, and there's 3 times it's mentioned.
It's literally just mentioned twice near the beginning. It's mentioned twice. He says that he was an alcoholic, and then when he comes in all crazy, oh, this thing's going down, the husband that's current, or not her husband, but the boyfriend that's
stepdad.
The stepdad, that's what I'm looking for. The stepdad's like, how much did you drink this morning? That's it.
Oh, wait, no, you're forgetting the scene that totally mattered when he was at Alcoholic Anonymous.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, because it never comes up again.
And then at the end, he takes a drink to let you know he doesn't care anymore. But
and Nora is super shocked by this. She's like, oh.
Yeah. So, yeah, here's the thing. He drank, and it doesn't really affect him fighting-wise or logic-wise.
Well, the show wraps up before anything could happen with that. But he had 1 drink. Oh, no, might relapse.
Wasn't this before the fight in the theater?
No, I'm pretty sure it was fighting in the theater, then they went to the house because Zach was gasping, and it wraps up after that.
Yeah.
But also, oh no, he might relapse and want to drink more alcohol, because he'll totally have time during an apocalypse.
Yeah. Jesus. It's just a lot of pointless character stuff like that, really, at the end. It's like he's an alcoholic, but never really comes into play. Gus is greedy now. Okay.
Does Fett do anything? I forget if Fett becomes dumber.
Not really. Fett kind of stays the same. It's honestly, I think.
Okay, Fett is at least cool all the way through.
He's at least consistently cool, and at least Ditch is she's a bitch throughout the entire thing, so she doesn't get more annoying. She's always kind of been annoying in the whole thing.
Oh, that's the other stupid thing. Where she's like, I didn't expect it to hurt anyone. This internet, this internet shut down phones to emergency services for days.
Yeah, phones and emergency services are gone. Internet is gone. Can't call for help. People
Can't get money out of banks.
So
people are starving. People can't get medical attention. She's like, I didn't expect to hurt anyone.
Yeah, there's a clip, and she's just like, I didn't expect this to actually hurt anybody. Just play that whenever, something is mentioned about the internet that, completely fucked over a ton of people. So she has literally, like, probably thousands of people's blood is on her hands. But she didn't want to hurt anybody.
There's so many jokes I want to make, but spoilers for other things.
But I didn't want to hurt her. Fuck you.
Okay.
I still love the one really odd edit, like the one really obvious continuity error where she dumps all the alcohol in the toilet, then the cup's full again in the next shot.
Yeah, where she drinks from it, it's back to being full.
Yeah. I'm glad we have magical refilling alcohol.
I mean, that really sucks when you're trying to empty the bottles, but hey.
I sure wish I had that right now.
Stop drinking so much. Jesus.
But yeah, this show just really shit itself. And I know we said the first 8 episodes are great, but as a whole, we can't really recommend this.
I own the Blu-ray and I'm debating selling it, which is rare. Hold on, what else do I own? I'm trying to think of like bad things I own where I'm like, yeah, I'll keep it, sure.
Mm-hmm.
I have like iRobot and Troll 2 on DVD, and I'm like, sure, I'll keep those, I guess.
But yeah, season 1 of The Strain, he is actually debating getting rid of it.
Honestly, I don't know if it's worth it.
I just jokingly said the other night, just throw out the last disc.
Honestly, that's not a bad idea.
I think, are the first 8 episodes on the first 2 discs, or which?
Yep.
Okay.
Episodes 10 to 13 are on the last disc.
Yep, just throw that disc out.
Actually, since it decided to turn to Walking Dead, I should say, I should paint over it. It should be like, do not watch, boring inside, or something like that.
Oh, God. Yeah, because, again, and especially, what tipped me off to that was Abraham's last monologue or whatever. Where he's like, oh, and the world around us is going crazy and blah, 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 existential jazz. And I'm like, that feels so much like a Walking Dead monologue.
Yeah.
And I'm really hoping it doesn't go that route. Because the thing about this is this last part was so bad. So it went south so bad so fast. We're genuinely worried about the prospects of us finishing the rest of the series.
Yeah, okay, we have a rule established. I don't think we've said it on air.
We haven't.
Okay, if a series hits a point of badness, we can 100% abort saying through the rest of it.
Yeah.
And that's boring bad. Because if we get to longer series, like even longer than 5 seasons, maybe 8 or 10
like,
even.
Yeah, the X-Files or 24 or stuff like that.
If we hit a point where we're not wanting to sit through the show, where every episode we record is just us in a monotone, annoyed voice for 30 minutes to an hour, we're cutting it. There's no reason for us to sit through it, and we don't want to put out boring-ass episodes where we're like, yeah, in this episode, JC decides to fuck off.
Yeah, so we have an abort button, and we will use it if we decide that a series is so bad that we are actually, like, physically not looking forward to watching it.
Because we'll probably get through season 2. If season 2 is just boring bad, we're stopping the series.
Yeah. If it goes, like, completely over the top and really fucking stupid, at least it'll be fun to make fun of.
Yeah. I can say this. If you sit through this show with a friend, it becomes really easy to Mystery Science Theater this bitch.
Mm-hmm. Especially at the ending, dear God.
Oh, the last ending stuff is fucking great.
Uh-huh.
But besides that, it's just, unless you have beer and friends, there is no reason to sit through this series.
That is if you like drinking beer, which I don't.
Or alcohol of whatever sort.
Yeah, it becomes so much easier.
You'll want something kind of light for this.
Yeah, because you do have to pay attention.
And there's a lot to get through. You don't need to have your liver fail at the same time as one of the characters.
That's actually a really good one. I can't be mad at that. Oh, God. The best way to watch a stranger and drink a bunch of alcohol and then have liver surgery right when he gets liver surgery.
It's a real immersive experience.
But, yeah, no, it's just... We are genuinely worried about where season 2 onward will go. So if it gets too bad, we entirely hold the right to abort a series. So you guys, at this point, it's like maybe 50-50, maybe more if we'll finish this or not. So if we don't...
I will say, too, if enough people... Like, if we abort a series and enough people are like, no, trust us, it gets dumber or it gets better... then we'll go back to it. It's not... I guess I should say it's not completely off the table unless we say otherwise.
Yeah, it's not... it'll vary from thing to thing. Like, if enough people say that, if we get a big following, or, a big enough following, and people are like, please bring it back, we'll debate it. We're not going to be like, a stern no unless we feel that it's so bad we can't do it.
If something got, like, fucked up so uncomfortable, then we might be like, yeah, we're not continuing this, and you can't make us.
Yeah. I will say one thing. I am glad that the parallels for, like, the political parallels in the first half honestly get entirely dropped after a certain point. Thank God.
Yeah, honestly. At least that made the show more comfortable.
Yeah, so... Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we covered an entire season in one episode, and we are at 209 right now. So is there anything else you'd like to say?
So, I hope to... This is one of those things where it's like, I'd rather forget it than remember.
Yeah, so... It's like, I still don't know if stopping would have made it better or worse. I think it would have made it worse.
It would have made a shorter episode, at least.
Yeah. Fuck this! Do-do-do-do-do. Okay, so without further ado, because I think...
okay, there is one thing coming up.
Yeah.
Because I know you're about to say we're going to spin the wheel.
Oh, what's coming up, man?
Well, okay. We had Hannibal, and then we had this show, which oddly related to real-life events.
Oh, yes. Okay, go on.
Next, we're spinning the short TV wheel, so we get something to filter through and probably cheer up to after watching season 1 of The Strain. The anime Death Parade is usually on this wheel. However, we have made the executive decision to take it off for just this spin.
Because after sitting through Hannibal and sitting through the really uncomfortable parallels, everyone, at least everyone's told me, and everything that I've seen online has said that Death Note is a very sad anime.
You mean Death Parade?
Death Parade, sorry. That Death Parade is a very sad anime. So we don't want to be sad.
Yeah, we're making the executive decision to take it the fuck off.
Yeah.
Just for this spin.
Just for this spin. Because we want something that'll, that's not sad, that won't just completely get us in the dumps. So, yeah. Sorry, Death Parade, we'll watch you eventually.
There was one thing I did want to say on The Strain.
Alright.
Because I'm besides the obvious disappointment of the show, I wasn't happy that we got it because, in tone-wise, it's very close to Hannibal, just not done well.
It's Hannibal, if Hannibal wasn't one of the best TV shows I've ever seen in my life.
But it would have been easier to move on to something that was either a completely different tone or even animated, so that way we could... I was worried we wouldn't be able to judge this series fairly. Luckily, it's just terrible, so we don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, luckily we don't have to worry about it being fair because it's fairly obvious that it's bad.
That's not. We don't even have to compare it to Hannibal in order to
No.
call it bad.
No,
But
it's just don't worry, it stands on its own as bad.
yeah,
It does
But-
that for us.
I was worried that it was going to be like we go from this dark, somewhat horror show to another dark, somewhat horror show. I would much more enjoy getting something like what do we have on there? Samurai Jack, because that would have been so far on the other side of the field, it would be
Yeah.
impossible to compare the two.
Oh, Samurai Jack is so fucking good, especially season 5. So good.
Which we'll get to.
Oh, so good.
But besides that, luckily that did not become an issue.
Mhm.
The only issue is we still have to watch The Strain.
Yeah, so like we said, this is a long series wheel, so we are going to spin the short series to be in between seasons like we did with Hannibal.
Yes. So I will. Did you start? Thank you. It started the recording. I am hovering over the center of the wheel, and you know what that means, audience. It's time to spin. God damn it.
What do we get?
Investigator Alice.
Yes! 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 Yes!
I don't want to say anything. You can't. No, shush. We're not talking about
No,
this show
just let me be
until we
happy.
get to
I'm
it.
not going to talk about it. Just let me be happy. Oh, yes! Yes!
We're not saying anything about this
Yes!
show until we get to the episode.
Yes!
So we're going to cover the entirety of Investigator
Yes!
Alice. It's a very short series. You can find it free online.
It's-
I suggest you watch it before we get to the episode.
It's 2 seasons, and I think the seasons are like 6 or 7 episodes each, and the episodes are like 10 minutes long.
I highly suggest you watch it.
Oh, yes! I'm so excited. Yes!
Yeah, that's one hell of a break.
Yes! Oh, yes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so excited. This is the most excited I've been in a long time. Woo! I'm feeling, Justin, I'm feeling joy!
That's not allowed.
I'm
We're
feeling-
watching season 2 of The Strain instead.